নমস্কার ছাত্রছাত্রীরা, আখড়া স্টাডিতে তোমাদের স্বাগত। আজ আমরা আলোচনা করব ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল বোর্ডের একাদশ শ্রেণীর সিলেবাসের একটি অসামান্য কবিতা, রবার্ট ব্রাউনিংয়ের মাই লাস্ট ডাচেস। This poem was written by Robert Browning, and it uses a highly specific literary structure, the dramatic monologue. That means everything we hear is a theatrical, one-sided conversation spoken entirely by a single character. The speaker in this case is a wealthy, arrogant duke living in the grand Renaissance city of Ferrara, Italy. We enter the story right as he is negotiating the terms for his next marriage. He is walking down a vast hallway with an envoy, the man sent to negotiate the wedding dowry. Suddenly, the duke stops. He reaches for a heavy velvet curtain hanging on the wall and pulls it back. Behind that curtain is a portrait of his deceased wife. By keeping her hidden behind a physical barrier that only he is allowed to draw, the duke shows his obsession immediately.
He dictates exactly who gets to look at her. The artist, Fra Pandolf, captured the Duchess vividly. The painting is incredibly realistic, showing her in a white dress with a distinct, faint blush resting on her cheek. He clearly controls her image now. But the question hovering in this hallway is what specific events led to her becoming nothing more than a piece of art on a stone wall. In this hallway, her presence is limited to what the Duke allows the world to see. He treats her likeness as a curated piece of his collection, an object subject to his total management. To explain her fate, the Duke takes the envoy into the past. His primary complaint about his late wife is surprisingly simple. She had a heart that was too soon made glad. She was easily impressed by the world around her. It didn't take much to make her smile. A vivid orange sunset dropping in the west, or a servant handing her a branch of rich red cherries in the orchard would spark genuine delight. She would ride her stark white mule around the terrace, treating every person she encountered with the exact same warm gratitude. The Duke expected reverence. He believed she should rank his specific gift, a 900-year-old family name, above absolutely everything else. In his mind, her universal kindness was an insult, because she found joy in a simple sunset instead of reserving all her awe for him. His aristocratic pride was bruised. He could have spoken to her and explained his expectations, but he viewed the act of teaching his wife how to behave as a form of stooping, a degradation of his status, and he firmly states he chooses never to stoop. So the smiles continued. Every time he passed her, she offered that same universal warmth, silently fueling his jealousy. I gave commands. Then all smiles stopped together. He had her executed. We snapped back to the cold reality of the hallway. He murdered his wife because he could not control her spirit. Now she is reduced to a compliant object on his wall, frozen exactly how he wants her. The most chilling part of this confession is what happens next. Without missing a beat, the Duke turns to the envoy and casually resumes negotiating the financial dowry for his next bride. This brings us to a core concept you need to know for your exams: power syndrome. This is a dangerous psychological condition where an individual requires absolute dominance and views other human beings strictly as possessions. His seamless transition from discussing murder to discussing money proves the depth of this condition. He feels zero guilt because, to him, wives are simply replaceable property. As the conversation concludes, the Duke walks the envoy downstairs. On the way, he stops to point out one more piece of art, a rare bronze sculpture cast by Klaus Ensbruck.
This particular statue shows the sea god Neptune aggressively taming a wild seahorse. It perfectly mirrors how the Duke views himself. He is the godlike figure, and his wives are the wild seahorses that must be forcefully tamed and broken to his will. Browning's poem stands as a masterful critique of toxic male dominance and the destructive nature of unchecked aristocratic pride. পরীক্ষার জন্য পাওয়ার সিন্ড্রোম এবং নেপচুন স্ট্যাচুয়ের রূপকটি খুব ভালোভাবে তৈরি করবে। আজকের আলোচনা ভালো লাগলে আখড়া স্টাডি চ্যানেলটিকে লাইক, শেয়ার এবং সাবস্ক্রাইব করতে ভুলো শ্রেষ্ঠ। দেখা হচ্ছে পরের ভিডিওতে।